Here's a video to show you how to set up your continuous ink supply. This one in particular is for the XP-442, but basically loads of the Epson printers are very similar, and the cartridges that we're using in this are Epson 29s, which are the strawberry ink cartridges, and these are the setup ones. And the first thing to make sure that you do if you buy a new printer and you decide that you're going to use this system is to use the setup cartridges just to get the printer working correctly. So what we do is we have already done this. We have put in the Epson cartridges, got it all running through, so that way it sets up the printers calibrates it basically to how it should be. And then when we're ready to remove them, I'll just show you how we did remove them. You just go into the menu, and on this particular printer there's like a screen that shows you, but it's basically the same. If you know how to remove your ink cartridges, that's basically what you do. So we go across and it's setup and it's maintenance. Like, this could be slightly different in other printers, but like if you have the instructions for your printer and you just go how to ink cartridge replacement is what you're looking for. So what you would have done, what we did was we went down to that ink cartridge replacement, pressed OK, and it's asking you replace the ink cartridges. You just go start, and we just opened it up, and this is what the system looks like. I've already put this in, and I'm going to show you how I did it in a second. So what we did was we said yes, we'd like to replace them. So I took out the 4 cartridges, and then literally this comes in a block already together. So we put the 4 cartridges, just line them up properly and just clip them in. With these particular cartridges you'll find that because they're 4 together, if one clicks in slightly quicker than the other one, the others just take a bit more clicking. So if you just push it down at the back, and you'll usually hear a click. And as well, if it doesn't click, you just want to make sure, don't be afraid to give it a good push down, and just try and make sure that they're all clicked in. And these ones are, because we've already set these up. And as well, when you put them in, you'll get a message on your screen saying that it's unable to recognize the cartridges. So what will happen is the cartridges will go across and come back, and if you see this little white button here, this is before you put them in, you can look at this little button, and this is a reset. So when it says, it'll show you maybe the 3 or 4 cartridges are unable to be read, so it will move itself across, and you will hold this little white button for 2 seconds. Just count 1 second, 2 seconds, just hold it and let go, and then you'll see the screen one of the colors will go out and it'll come across again, and you do that again. Same thing, hold it and you'll see another color will go out. Sometimes it doesn't need doing, but other times it will. And this one, when we put these 4 cartridges in, it needed to be done 3 times, and each time we did it, one light went out, and it accepted them no problem at all. And the next thing then is, you've got your ink line here, and it's really important that this is nice and straight. Like, if you had it twisted like that, it just wouldn't work right. So what you're doing is you're making it as easy as possible for the ink to run through the line. So you don't want anything pinching or anything else. You get this little arm with the printer, with the kit, and we've already put it in for you. So this is what it was like. So we removed this red backing from the back, and then we put it around about 50% of the way across, like that, and just stick it down, and it's really strong adhesive. So if you put it around about there, and then this opens just slightly, and there's little grooves. So what you want is your ink lines in there, and when it's moving across, you want the printer to be able to go all the way across, like so. You want it to be able to go all the way across to the end, and you can have it even a little bit. You don't want it too floppy, because it's going to start banging on the roof here when you start printing. So round about that's fine. You want to give it a little bit of give, because if it's too tight as well, it won't be able to go the whole way across, and it'll not only damage it, but it won't print right. And then again, same thing when it comes back over here. As you can see, as it's going over, it's dropping down, which is stopping it making too much of a banging. there is a bit of a recess, so it shouldn't be too bad. Sometimes you will hear a small tapping like that when you're printing, which can be quite annoying. But if that is the case, just tighten it up a little bit. Don't go crazy. Just tighten it a little bit like that, and you'll get to a stage where, like this one, you'll see when we do it, there's no noise at all. It prints as normal, and you're saving an absolute fortune as well, which is great on printing. So as you can see, again, that's as far as it'd ever have to go across. Again, there's a little bit of slack, but very little. So there you go. And then as well here, you get one of these little clips, and this is to make it easier for when it's just keeping everything tidy. You could, if you wanted, even put a little bit of tape on here, but it's not necessary really. And the printer lid will go right down on top of this as well, and it doesn't affect the printing. And it's important to have it down because, you know, there's way less noise and everything. And this one, what we did was we took off the backing, we put that on there like that, we put the ink lines down through it, and then that clips in. And again, you don't want it to catch on it because that will stop the quality of the print, you know, you'll get air and everything else. So that was, like I said, went on there. And again, you will have a slight loop here, that's just normal and not to worry about it. But again, you don't want an actual kink, there shouldn't be any knots or anything. So as you can see, it's nice and smooth. Our ink is basically, you know, just nice and level. You don't want it too much like that, just on a level surface like you would anything that you don't want to fall over. And again, I wouldn't have it on the edge of the table or anything, because just a little bit of vibration over time, you mightn't even notice it, but in the end it'll end up falling off. So one thing to remember as well, once you've got your cartridges into your printer, you've got to remember that even though we've shown you in a previous video, and it's on our channel, how to prime your cartridges, like, it is a bit fiddly and it does take a bit of time, but the savings are absolutely huge. Like, our kit is under £50, and that comes with enough ink to fill these tanks twice, and that's enough to fill your cartridges probably 5 or 6 or 8 times even, depending on the cartridge. So it's absolutely, in our opinion anyway, it's definitely worth the bit of time that it takes fiddling, because when you get them in, and like, what you need to do is, first thing we do is we do a head clean, and just see how that is. You can run a nozzle check, and all these options are in your maintenance menu, and it's very normal with any cartridge when you first use it. So so what we had to do with these particular ones, we had to run 4 head cleans, and you might get to the stage where you think, oh, this isn't going to work, and we were thinking that after the 3rd attempt, and then the 4th time, perfect, absolutely perfect. It prints great, there's no noise. But it did take us, the reason why we haven't shown you exactly how to do everything is because it literally takes, we'll say, 25 minutes to do. So, and as well, if it's the first time you've ever done it, you know, don't be afraid to take your time, stop the video, and it will be worth it in the long run. So what we would do then, to show you how it works, we would just close down the lid. As you can see, it's not quite closing. It's like there's a small bit of give here, but the printer still looks pretty good. You wouldn't even notice that there's not 100% closure there. And if you look around here where the ink lines go in, you know, it's nice and tidy. You can push that in a bit if you want, but again, don't push it right up against it, just like that. You know, and if you wanted, you could put something in front of it to hide it if you didn't like the look of the ink or whatever. But like, for me, it's kind of satisfying seeing the ink levels going down and knowing that every time it goes on, you're saving money. So because we wanted to replace cartridges, it's going to say to you to replace it's going to make you do this again, checking ink cartridges. So this can take quite a while, so don't be surprised if that's the case. And it will also say charging ink, please wait, and all it's doing is it's purging the ink downwards down to the print head, so that it does print. And once this is done, you'll be ready to print, and I'm sure that you'll be very happy with it. I'll just give it a second. This was just to give you an idea of what I printed earlier. And while we're waiting, we photocopied these, and like that's a pretty good match. Like this is on matte and this is on gloss, so it's never going to be exactly the same, but it managed to photocopy that really well. So I'm pretty sure you'll be glad. Don't be surprised if this takes about 5 minutes. So thank you very much, and I'm sure that you're going to be delighted with the cartridges and the CISS system. It's still going, but I'd expect it to be finished in a couple of minutes. Thank you very much.